But maybe we should wait until the...
It's the final countdown.
If I had all that time, I sure as hell wouldn't waste it.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 running out of time movies.
I gave you 48 hours to come up with something and the clock's running.
For this list, we're taking a look at the most intense movies where the characters have a limited amount of time to complete a given task. Number 10, Gone in 60 Seconds.
You're late.
Wait, you're gonna argue with me over 12 minutes?
With a title like that, it's only natural that time would be a crucial factor. Nicolas Cage stars as Memphis, a former car thief who's roped back in for one last job to save his brother by stealing 50 cars within 72 hours.
You stole a car that wasn't on the list. You stole a car that wasn't on the list. Why don't you just go to the police station in a red clown suit and let everybody know what we're doing here?
Throughout their race against the digital clock, our protagonists encounter numerous obstacles, such as cops, gang members, and even snakes.
Oh, the snake! Get this thing off me!
The film takes it up a gear in the final act, as Memphis engages in an over-the-top high-speed chase with only a few minutes remaining until his deadline. We won't spoil what happens here, but let's just say you should definitely go along for the ride.
I am a bad man.
Number 9, The Taking of Pelham 123.
Holy God, what do you want? I'm taking your train.
In this slick thriller, a group of armed men take 17 people hostage aboard a New York subway train, demanding a ransom of $1 million to be delivered within an hour. If the money arrives late, the criminals will kill one passenger for each passing minute.
I am quite prepared to kill any or all of them if you do not obey my commands to the letter. Have I made myself quite clear?
The film is largely carried by a stellar performance from Robert Shaw as the mysterious Mr. Blue, who's calm and sophisticated, but will shoot a hostage without thinking twice.
Be quiet. Shut up. Now be quiet. Nothing will happen as long as you obey my orders.
Walter Matthau is just as great as Zachary Garber, a hard-boiled lieutenant trying to buy the hostages time and outwit the hijackers.
You read me, Pelham 1, 2, 3.
I was running things like when there were guns and tear gas and blast them out.
Yeah, when you're not running things, so why don't you start doing your own work and let the police do theirs, huh?
A well-plotted script, sharp direction, and strong supporting cast further helped Pelham to stick out as one of the 70s finest heist movies.
The clock's running.
26 minutes. After that, we can start scratching them off one per minute.
Number 8, Crank.
You move, you die.
This balls-to-the-wall action fest gives you 5 minutes of exposition and then immediately cuts to the chase. Assassin Chev Chelios is injected with a drug that slows down his heart and will eventually kill him. Throughout his desperate pursuit for a cure, Chev must keep his heart going through narcotics, defibrillation, and sex.
That's it.
This popcorn flick is a heart-pounding adrenaline rush that refuses to stop for a breather. It may be relentless and ridiculous, but Crank won't bore you for a second. Watching the film is the equivalent of drinking a box of energy drinks and then tossing back some Mentos just for kicks.
Looking for something that starts with E.
England?
Very funny, no.
If you're a Jason Statham fan, it's about time you checked this one out.
Sorry, must go. Bye-bye.
Number 7, Speed.
Okay, we're gonna have to try to bypass the remote current with the battery. Can you find the tripwire for the remote?
Speed has one of the most ingenious setups you'll ever see in an action picture. A bus is rigged with a bomb that will explode if the driver drops his speed below 50 miles per hour.
Pop quiz, hotshot. There's a bomb on a bus. Once the bus goes 50 miles an hour, the bomb is armed. If it drops below 50, it blows up. What do you do? What do you do?
Of course, having a terrific premise is one thing. The question is if the idea is well executed. With Jan de Bont behind the camera, Speed never runs out of gas.
It's gas.
We're leaking gas?
We are now.
What, you felt you needed another challenge or something?
The film is much more than an extended car chase sequence, elevated by brilliant pacing, endearing heroes, and genuine thrills. Even when the bus reaches its final destination, it doesn't allow its audience to stop and rest. It continually raises the stakes as our heroes run out of time.
Jack, 5 minutes.
Not enough time. Run the tape. We have to unload.
Number 6, 127 hours.
This marks 24 hours of being stuck in Blue John Canyon, right where it slots up before the big drop.
Danny Boyle brings us the amazing true story of mountain climber Aaron Ralston, who gets stuck in a canyon after his arm is trapped under a boulder. The clock starts to tick from that moment as Aaron fights to survive. Where most people would give up and wait to expire in such a hopeless situation, Aaron refuses to let his spirit be crushed.
I've been moving towards it my whole life. The minute I was born, every breath I've taken, every action has been leading me to this crack on the Earth's surface.
He resorts to extreme measures over the next 5 days, which are undeniably brutal and grueling at times. The experience truly makes the audience reflect on how suddenly the timer on anyone's life can suddenly speed up. During his 127 hours of imprisonment, everyone in the audience is inspired to make the most of their time on Earth.
Do not lose it.
Number 5, Unstoppable.
What the hell are you laughing at? What are you laughing at?
Because it's funny. You're a funny guy.
Sometimes one little mistake can escalate into a much bigger disaster. In director Tony Scott's final feature film, an unattended freight train is accidentally sent rampaging towards a city.
The engineer, they say, made an error in controlling the train. Before leaving the locomotive, he intended to apply the independent brakes, and then by the time he realized his mistake, the train was going too fast for him to climb back on.
As the runaway charges at full power, it appears there's no way to stop it in time. Luckily, Denzel Washington and Chris Pine don't know the meaning of the word unstoppable.
You all right?
I'm great.
Much like the locomotive itself, the movie is a non-stop thrill ride that keeps gaining momentum, with the suspense building as the narrative intensifies. Gripping, stimulating, and exceedingly well made, you won't regret climbing on board this action-packed flick.
Hit it again! No!
Number 4, Armageddon.
Houston, this is Freedom. Do your copy.
Director Michael Bay is no stranger to playing around with time constraints. In The Rock, our heroes embark on a race against time to prevent a nerve gas attack on San Francisco.
Come on, General. Let's be all we can be.
In Armageddon, all humankind is at risk as an asteroid the size of Texas heads for Earth. With only 18 weeks left, NASA enlists a ragtag crew of oil drillers to prevent a global catastrophe. With its non-stop action and rapid editing, Armageddon is admittedly an acquired taste.
Guess what, guys? It's time to embrace the horror. Look, we got front row tickets to the end of the earth.
Nevertheless, Bay's hyper-filmmaking style does create a real sense of panic, dread, and danger.
Harry, the clock on that 9-foot nuclear weapon is ticking.
The film additionally puts the ticking clock trope to impeccable use, leading to a dramatic ending that's sure to have a deep impact on the viewer.
Good luck, Freedom. Oh my God, this is it.
Number 3, Back to the Future.
Look at the time! You got less than 4 minutes!
Sent back in time from 1985 to 1955, Marty McFly only has one shot at returning home, when a lightning bolt strikes the clock tower at precisely 10:04 p.m. on the evening of November 12th.
You start off from down the street, driving directly toward the cable, accelerating to 88 miles per hour. According to the flyer, at precisely 10:04 p.m. this Saturday night, lightning will strike the clock tower, electrifying the cable.
On top of that, our hero has a week to ensure that his parents fall in love.
Are you okay?
Otherwise, he and his family in his present will be erased from existence. As if that mission weren't already stressful enough, Marty also has to get his trusty DeLorean back to 1985 in time to save the Doc's life. But he's got all the time in the world, doesn't he?
I got all the time I want. I got a time machine. I can just go back early and warn him.
The memorable characters, plus the balance of action, drama, and comedy, all come together to make this a truly timeless classic.
Let's see if you bastards can do 90.
Number 2, Inception.
Mustn't be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling.
An unconventional heist movie, Inception follows a group of thieves that infiltrate a CEO's subconscious to plant an idea in his head.
If you can steal an idea from someone's mind, why can't you plant one there instead?
In the real world, our protagonists have a 10-hour window of opportunity. In the dream world, though, time works differently, moving faster the deeper they go. That means time becomes even more precious, since 50 years can pass by in a flash. And the team's maneuvers have to be done precisely at the right moment.
Before you bother telling me it's impossible.
No, it's perfectly possible. It's just bloody difficult.
Director Christopher Nolan would play with time again later in Interstellar, as our heroes travel to a planet where 1 hour equals 7 Earth years. While that film also brilliantly made us feel the ticking clock, Inception set the standard with its inventive ideas, mind-blowing set pieces, and sense of uncertainty.
Listen, if you're going to perform Inception, you need imagination.
Before we get to our top pick, here are some honorable mentions.
Source code is not time travel. Rather, source code is time reassignment. It gives us access to a parallel reality.
Chaque fois, je me sens comme une mendiante, ou une voleuse qui vient prendre leur fric. Ils me regardent, prêts à me taper dessus. Et moi aussi, j'ai envie de leur taper dessus.
You return my son. Alive, uninjured. I'll withdraw the bounty. With any luck, you can simply disappear. Understand, you will never see this money.
我从这儿跑上28楼最少要8分钟，这段时间出了什么事，你负责吧？你不想负责吧？
If anything were to happen to me, remember the van. She's in the van.
10 minutes. You get another chance.
Good. Then I have time to get a drink.
All right.
Number 1. Run, Lola, Run.
Alles in Ordnung.
Literally opening with a ticking clock, Run, Lola, Run instantly throws the audience into the action, and it almost never slows down. This fast-paced thriller centers on a young woman who's given 20 minutes to help her endangered boyfriend raise 100,000 marks.
Aber warum denn?
Hilf mir, Lola.
The plot may seem straightforward on paper, but the film frequently catches the audience off guard with unexpected twists and turns.
Ich brauche 100.000 Mark jetzt sofort.
Was?
Ich brauche 100.000 Mark und zwar in den nächsten 5 Minuten, sonst passiert was Furchtbares.
Every second here makes a difference, putting the viewer in a state of urgency. The rousing musical score will additionally make the audience feel like they're running on a treadmill with a gun pointed at them. Clocking in at only 81 minutes, Run, Lola, Run flies by fast and takes your breath away in the process. Do you agree with our list? What's your favorite running out of time movie? For more entertaining top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Little kid, come.